I'm not going to talk about whether or not people died in Sandy Hook. What I'm talking about is that whether or not Russian soldiers knew that they were going to invade Ukraine. Because that's a kidnap scenario. The people that moved to Sandy Hook, they were like DARPA initiative. Remember in Lost? You know what I mean? They all didn't know what they signed up for. And it's like, I try to open up the fourth dimension or some shit. Anyway, that's enough crap. That's enough conspiracies and crap. It's just something to look at. Because sometimes the most crazy assumed things turn out to be more accurate than what anybody's talking about. And they don't get a pass, you know, for sugarcoating. You know what I mean? Because then, look at fucking, then I have to say that I wasn't watching a video put out by King AK-47, Voice of the Street, with Kevin Samuels arguing with a woman who was grabbing shit in his apartment. Who he said you could leave. You know, someone who has access to drugs because she was either an escort or she said she was a nurse, but she's not a nurse and she's an escort. Both of those type of women has access to drugs. But even beyond that, like, it would end there. It would get weirder from there. Because she wouldn't even know that she was being used or something. It would be like, we don't just get to even act like we've seen any of that shit. And nobody's gonna ask the appropriate questions while everybody's saying Kevin Samuels was my friend and stuff. Like, you know, weird motherfuckers. Anyways, you know what I mean? Because it's not just a fucking talking point for me to say you're wrong and you're stupid and you'll find out one day and shit, just taking that for yourself, like, and fucking his meaning or his message for, and having it stopped or ended just for you to, I don't know, it's just like, fucking leave me alone. If you're not fucking with it, then you're not fucking with it. You're not ready to pass that step yet. You're not ready to process what there is to be processed. Then why should I worry about it? You know what I mean? Is it because you think that you're going to push away the type of people that would have your back or stand up for you if something did happen to you? Then they would look into it. Or would they just act like, you know what I'm saying, and then come to your funeral and say that you were their friend? Fucking that shit. You got to be worried about that. And, you know, he's like, everybody dies alone. The thing people didn't understand about what he was saying about dying alone, but it's taken to the extrapolation. But no, everybody dies alone, especially if you're on a mission. I mean, if you have your mission in life and your purpose, you feel it. He who feels it knows it, and really nobody else. So you're gonna be pulled by the call of your vocation to do something away from everybody, and probably die doing it. Or, I mean, the same thing you could say about dying in the hospital or a convalescent home. I mean, you could say it's alone and shit. I don't know, you know, but very few people actually dies with anybody else around that they know. And that's, I mean, I think it's more scary to people who are out here fucking acting like they got each other's back, and they're about forging strong ties and units and networking and like, or just building the same thing to get to the same place. Like focus on the same itinerary for the same thing that's, you know, it would be a community would form around that, you know. But I don't even believe, like, community is like indefensible. You have better odds if you're on land to be able to defend yourself and not become a political prisoner or something. But they, you know, it's a community. So, I mean, I get where they're going with that. They have to be in that mind frame because of what they're doing. If they're building out a network, you have to be motivated around facilitating the requirements for a community to thrive, right? You would have to. But that's the only place really where that makes sense, is in the programming tech sphere, you know. But really, you should be supposed to be trying to get away from the community, because the majority of the people in the community are causing the rest of them to suffer. Like doing something that's not sustainable. Look at San Bernardino, right? There's like all those suburban dreams, and they're bogged down, you know.